the area of law and politics?
Oh, absolutely. Can I go first, Vonnie?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Law. All right. So, law in this country, law is defined as American jurisprudence. American jurisprudence is law. So, in a nutshell, it's basically a bunch of sociopathic criminals, European men, who write in laws to dictate the behavior and to control a population and to get them to operate in a manner that is conducive for controlling the society and therefore empowering a quote unquote government. That's what American jurisprudence is. That's what law is. Politics, Western political science, Western politics is a derivative of what Niccolo Machiavelli outlined to control a society uh, in the 1400s. Niccolo Machiavelli, he was an Italian diplomat. He wrote the book called The Prince. Niccolo Machiavelli. The Europeans who came to this country fleeing from England, they adopted Niccolo Machiavelli's scheme, because that's what it is, a scheme really, and a principle to control a society. And that was a two-tier political system. Two-tier political system. Because in Europe, they had a monarchy. And what Niccolo Machiavelli understood, what he realized, because he was a political scientist, he realized that a population gets jealous of a monarchy because you got a king and a queen and a bloodline. So if you're trying to control 100,000 people under a monarchy, you can bet your bottom dollar 10,000, 20,000 of them are going to be very, very jealous. So what he did, and he outlined in this book called The Prince, you create a two-tier system of politics, and you make the populace believe that they have control and say so under both tiers. So then you put two figures on top of two tiers. And then you make the populace, you split them in half. They're going to be split in half regardless, because one tier has these principles and another tier has these principles. Democrat, Republican, same shit. It's literally what we're living out right now. So then the populace is going to sway one way, and you're going to have another side of the populace sway another way. And then you got control right there, because then you inject figures that you control as puppets to just sway the populace. And the whole time, they're both the same motherfuckers. Pardon my French, TOP. They're both the same individuals. You know what I'm saying? But the populace, they don't know no better. The populace believes that there's a difference between a Democrat and a Republican. And black people, we're the most politically naive people on the planet. Like, a lot of our people are just now understanding that you don't vote unless a political candidate has your specific interest at mind. A lot of us are just now understanding that. And that should be common sense. But, you know, like TOP said, law, politics, oh, they got us 100% control.
Man, one thing that I've learned, you know, I was always raised to go vote Democrat. I didn't know what the hell I was voting for. I just went and voted Democrat. And then after a while, certain things just weren't adding up to me, man. And then I started thinking with my own mind. And politics is a trip, man. Politics, I got a better grasp and understanding on it. See, I don't believe in politics, but I do believe those people that's in those positions can be used. You know what I'm saying? You got the right resources to add incentive. Those people can be used. Like, I don't care about politics. You know, I didn't even vote this last election, to be honest. But if I got the resources, because I know that's what it's going to take in politics, you know, then I'll deal with some politicians if they're going to do my bidding. Me and whoever people, whatever syndicate I'm a part of, then I will use them as tools because that's all they are. That's all they to be used for. You know, just like people was getting, you know, when Trump was releasing people, you know, he released a few black people, you know, a nice substantial number from what I heard. What was it? Was it 700 or 7,000? Something like that. But then the people who was in favor of Trump for doing that, the people who were speaking against Trump, oh, he just did that because, well, duh. That's what a politician does. That's what this is all about. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. That's what he's supposed to do. What, he's supposed to love him? I don't give a damn how Trump feel. You know what I'm saying? If he did something for us, or if he did something for, you know, a party that's alongside with, you know, our general views and whatever can cater to us, then I'm all for it. It don't matter who it is. But the funny thing will really let me know about this election, man, will let me know about my people, man, how behind we are, man. We let Joe Biden get up on the Breakfast Club and say, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Now, to me, that's the most, that is way more disrespectful than anything Trump has ever said.
Facts.
I would say racist.
Yes. That is the most disrespectful thing I've ever heard any politician say. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, man. Black people, we fought to put this man in office. Like, how you just gonna let we really sat up here and let him say that? We really sat up here and let him say that, and we went and voted for him. Like, who gave him the permission? Where did he get the gall from to say some shit like that? Who told him that? Kamala?
Nah, he's that's how white supremacists do. Any of the Abrahamic traditions.
All three Abrahamic religions.
Specifically. Any of the three major religions. I don't begrudge people of practicing religion. I don't subscribe to it myself. But I agree with what you were saying, Vonnie. I've had similar experiences in my lifetime. Go ahead and offer your commentary, Five.
Thank you. Brother Vonnie had me dying over here. I had to get the mic muted. But I'm usually very careful about how I approach this topic of human activity and how white supremacy has dominated, because this is the most powerful. If you guys remember, I was saying at the beginning, this is the most powerful aspect, the most intangible, powerful aspect. This is the aspect of human activity that they dominate that gets people killed. Now, all three Abrahamic religions all start with the Jew. Now, Christianity is African people's umbilical cord to Europeans. Islam is African people's umbilical cord to Arabs. It's all a system of control. Now, real spirituality has nothing to do with religion. Spirituality is defined as what is the unseen. Metaphysically speaking, spirituality is the energy behind everything tangible. Now, I'm not going to get into a diatribe on this, but I have to let the audience and let the panel, let brothers and sisters aware of this. Everything spiritually going on in the third dimension, the information was already laid out for us by our African ancestors in Kemet and in Nubia and in the Dogon and in Timbuktu. It's all there. Everything, the reason why we're here, what happens after death, who controls this third dimension, what deity is negatively charged, what deity is positively charged, because that's all good and bad is. It was all laid out for us. And we are the gods. We're gods trapped in a physical body. The way it went down, and I'm not going to get too deep into it because this is something that people can want to try to debate me, but then they have to go, I can prove all of it. They have to get on my and I can prove it. Our bodies are avatars. Your physical body is an avatar, basically a suit in third dimension. Your soul is light. Our souls came from the cosmos, which is space, dropped in frequency when it hit the Earth's atmosphere, dropped in frequency when it got into the actual earth realm and became physical matter. Just like water goes from gas, liquid to solid. It's the same thing that happened when our souls came to this planet, got to the Earth's atmosphere or the Van Allen belts, turned into a gas, got down past the Earth's atmosphere, turned into a liquid, manifested into our mother through conception. It was a flash of light. You can look it up. Google flash of light based upon conception. We're gods trapped in a physical body. Now, the entity, I'm not going to get into the entity who controls this third dimension, who controls this earth. It is a he, though, I will say that. And he's a child deity, but he is real. He has a brother. And all of this ain't no mythology. The Dogon told us about this. In Kemet, they laid this out. The Nag Hammadi text laid this out. This has all been written before Europeans even existed. So with that being said, the Europeans that have manipulated spirituality and metaphysics and alchemy into a religion, they basically studied everything in consciousness. As we failed in consciousness when Kemet was falling, we had to pass the knowledge, and they stole a lot of it, and they just devised a religion to control, because they have no spiritual essence. Their last ticket is down here. That's it. After death for them is the end. Death for us is freedom. So I don't go too deep, but the religion, that's the most powerful. That is the most powerful form of control white supremacy has over melanated people. Hands down. If you could break that chain, like Shaka Musa Bird Shango said, he said this in the 90s, but you're not going, he wrote European holidays of African genocide. If you're not going to get to the majority of our people without getting into that Bible and understanding that Bible, because it's a metaphor. The book is a metaphor. But yeah, the religion, that's how they got us. I mean, like, hands down, my mother, not my father, but 85% of my family are Christians. I grew up in the church, just like Vonnie. And once religion, they got, white supremacy has this lock and key on a religious aspect.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in the church. My grandparents were into the Nation of Islam, and I was born some years after Malcolm X had gotten killed. And at that time, the Nation of Islam had pretty much splintered and was no longer like it was. That to say, I grew up more, in the Arabic tradition, some form of Islam, because there's different forms if people are not aware of it. In America, we black folks, we remix it to fit us. And this is how you get things like the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, and the 5% Nation of Gods and Earths, and the Ansar Islam community, because they're all spinoffs of the general religion of Islam. As long as this system has been in existence, is evidence enough. What are you guys' thoughts in regards to participating in sexual intercourse with white folks, suspected racists?
You want to go first, Vonnie? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Man, that's a real tough one, man. Because I heard Dr. Umar Johnson touch on this, and even though, in my past dealings with women, I have messed around with a couple white women, and at the time I never thought nothing about it. Even when I was young, like in high school and shit, I wanted to mess with white women because I thought they was easy to get along with. You know what I'm saying? But as I've gotten older, me personally, I don't discriminate. You know what I'm saying? But at this point in time in my life, man, I'm more attracted to the melanin. To be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of just something instinctual. She's the same color as me. Like, it don't matter what color she is, but shit, hey man, a black woman that's on the same page as me, that's a recipe for great
Oh, you're a little
white
choppy there, Vonnie.
women in this matter.
Okay, there you go. You back.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So yeah, so we supposed to be building resources for ourselves, and we have children, and we get married to a white woman. Something happened to us. That money is not going to go back to the black community. You know what I'm saying? So that's a real tough one, man. I'm gonna be completely gonna hold y'all up, man. I ain't even gonna lie. If I met a white chick who I was attracted to today, and we just had that vibe, then I'm gonna fuck with her. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But now, do I seek out white women? No. My first choice of women is black and Spanish. But I don't chase after white women. You know what I'm saying? But if she chews up and I'm digging, I like what I see, then I might go ahead and fuck with that. So I ain't even gonna lie to you. I can't even. It's hard for me to put a nail in the coffin on that one, man. Like, I understand the whole thing about keeping everything inclusive within the race. That makes a lot of sense. And maybe in a couple of years, maybe I might get to that point. But I'll be lying to y'all right now.
Well, you got a little choppy there, but
I respect his honesty.
I respect your. I was about to say the exact same thing. I respect your honesty. At least you're not pretending. You know what I'm saying? What I would say is the only way that I can mess with a white woman in such a capacity is only after the system of white supremacy no longer exists.
Exactly.
And my reasoning behind that is because if I'm to interact with a white woman in such a way under conditions of white supremacy, then how do I justify that or rationalize that out in my mind, knowing that I have to also be suspicious that this person could be a racist?
100%. And
so I say that to say, good luck.
Definitely.
Because contrary to what a lot of us think, white women do a lot of damage. And if you think that the white woman's role in white supremacy is limited to the bedroom, you are terribly mistaken, because we spoke on it earlier. Education. Just didn't point out the fact that over 70% of the teachers are white, and more probably 80% of the teachers are white, and 70% of them are women.
I thought you thought like 80.
I'm not sure about the exact numbers, but it's up there. And for me personally, I've had enough experiences in my life. I too have dealt with white women in such a capacity, but as the cliche goes, when you know better, you do better. And I have come to the conclusion that it's in my best interest, especially as far as my life is concerned, to just not partake in such an endeavor. I mean, we just watched a black male like us get killed by a white woman who allegedly mistakenly walked into his house and shot him to death. Ain't no way in the hell I'm getting ready to sleep with one of the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Whether they the police or not. Because she's not going to get held accountable for that. And if she do, white people are going to make the determination, not black people. So again, 100%. be safe, and I wish you luck. That's all I can say in regards to that. Five, your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sex is the most powerful motivating, as nearly full of Jesus is the most powerful motivating factor amongst human beings outside of power in the system of white supremacy itself. Um, like like TLP said, it's virtually impossible to have a constructive sexual relationship with a white person under the system of white supremacy. Nearly Fuller defines them as tragic arrangements, and as I have been living 37 years and have been aware enough to critique these relationships, maybe since about 16, that's all I've seen was tragic arrangements. I can't name one quote unquote interracial relationship that is not a complete clusterfuck, and I've said that in quotes online multiple times. Um, and white women have a particular clandestine role in white supremacy. So it's mathematically impossible. It doesn't equate to have a sexual relationship with a white woman, whether she's a white supremacist or not, and be trying to eliminate the system of white supremacy. It's ass backwards. Now, from what I've seen, what I have analyzed, I've done a psychological profile on a lot of black males who I've seen engage in relationships with white women, and it usually is a lack of sexual discipline, or it's the lust for the easy sexual access. I have had a exchange with a white woman maybe 10 years ago, and a lot of the stereotypes is true. They will do pretty much whatever you want them to do sexually. And for undisciplined black male, that sounds like heaven. If you're thinking with your fathers 24/7. But when you realize that you're in a system where you can get murdered, your child can get murdered, your sister can get murdered, your mother can get murdered on camera by individuals who resemble them, and nobody get punished, then that's just you can't even engage in that if you know that that's a reality. So, and then this miscegenation or interracial relationships, this is actually the inception of the war that we're in with Europeans after we created them. The inception, they used the white woman sexually to create the mulatto race. They did this in Kemet, and they have been doing it ever since. Get Chancellor Williams' book, The Destruction of Black Civilization. That's like the Bible that lays out why we're in the predicament we're in right now. The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. So
great book, by the way.
Absolutely. So it's a tragic arrangement, and like TOP said, if the system of white supremacy didn't exist, I would indulge in all races. And race is a real thing. I want to add that too. But since we're dominated by white people who practice white supremacy, not those who don't, I can't engage in that. There's nothing constructive that's going to come from that. It's confusion. Every brother I know involved with a white woman is completely confused, almost to the point where it's like I'm looking at an idiot in 2021. And I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just giving people my personal experience. Every black male I know in a sexual relationship with a white woman in 2021, it's almost like talking to a complete idiot to me. So, and I'm not gonna get, this is a very touchy subject, so I'm not gonna go too in depth, but I don't involve myself in tragic arrangements.
This is one of the most touchiest taboo subjects, and I would like to echo. I want to say this is either Mr. Fuller's or it might be Gus T. Renegade's sentiments. As a matter of fact, I think it was Gus T. Renegade's sentiments.